Welcome to State of Texas In Depth. I'm Josh Hinkle. As the summer heats up, so do the campaigns for Texas' future. The elections now will determine the agenda for the 2015 legislative session. Across the state, there are dozens of races for your representatives and senators in the state capitol, as well as plenty of statewide officials. But between now and November, it looks like a tough road ahead for many Democrats statewide. A new poll out from the University of Texas and our partners at the Texas Tribune suggests things haven't changed much on top of the ticket. Democratic State Senator Wendy Davis is trailing Attorney General Greg Abbott by 12 points in the race for governor. That's close to where Davis and Abbott were in February. Interestingly, support for both candidates dropped from that poll in February, though the pollster didn't ask respondents about other candidates like the Libertarian Catherine Glass and Green Party candidate Brandon Palmer. In the race for Lieutenant Governor, Democrat Leticia Vandepute is trailing Dan Patrick by an even larger margin than Davis. Dan Patrick has 41% of the vote compared to Vandepute's 26%. And in the race for U.S. Senate, incumbent John Cornyn is leading Democrat David Alamiel by about 11 points. There is some stronger hope for Democrats' down ticket, though. In the races for Agriculture Commissioner and Railroad Commissioner and Comptroller, Republicans lead by only single digits. Comptroller is the closest race, with Republican Glenn Hagar leading Democrat Mike Collier by only 7%. Of course, nearly 40% of voters haven't made an opinion yet. Still, Collier's campaign claims a victory in a bid for donations. His campaign said these numbers represent the state of the race from before we started running a major television ad campaign around Austin and San Antonio. So to put it lightly, we're just getting warmed up. A major shakeup for the Democrat hoping to be Texas' next governor. Wendy Davis campaign manager Karen Johansson announced she was stepping down. Davis' campaign gained national exposure quickly after the senator's filibuster against a Texas abortion bill a year ago. The campaign says Johansson helped build up a campaign, helping raise money and organize volunteers. In a letter, she said, "I'm proud of what we have all built in this campaign." And Wendy Davis, Texas has a candidate for governor who is inspiring activists and voters like no one has in decades. I'm not sure Texas Republicans knew what to expect when Wendy Davis announced for governor last October. They know now they've got a real race on their hands. Representative Chris Turner, who is still a member of the state House, will take over the campaign. The Arlington Democrat is the chair of the House Democratic Caucus. Unlike Johansson, who was based out of D.C., Turner grew up in Texas and attended UT Austin. Turner will face a Libertarian opponent, Carl Nolson, in the November election, but his district is heavily Democratic. In 2012, Turner beat Nolson with 88% of the vote. Davis's opponent, Attorney General Greg Abbott's campaign, responded to the shakeup. In a statement, a spokesman said the steady stream of campaign shakeups and reboots indicate Davis is out of touch with Texans and is looking for external fixes to an internal problem. As Attorney General Greg Abbott is calling for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to give more money to Texas to protect our border with Mexico this week. Abbott says the U.S. Border Patrol is overwhelmed with a recent spike of minors crossing the border without adults. The Attorney General wants $30 million so Texas can deploy state resources to the border. These children came from El Salvador, fleeing drug violence back home. Federal officials say they will deal with both the humanitarian and legal aspects of this situation.
I also wish to make clear that those apprehended at our border are priorities for removal. They are priorities for enforcement of our immigration laws, regardless of age.
Since October, more than 47,000 unaccompanied children have been caught at the border, most from Central America, arriving in Texas. The most current governor of Texas, though, is under fire for comments he made about homosexuality.
I may have the genetic coding that I'm inclined to be an alcoholic, but I have the desire not to do that, and I look at the homosexual issue as the same way.
Rick Perry was speaking at the Commonwealth Club in California this week when he was asked about language in the Texas Republican Party platform pushing for reparative therapies for homosexuals. Those comments from Perry reflect what he's written in his book, On My Honor. But Texas Democrats called Perry's comments bigoted. Party Executive Director Will Haler said during his last year in office, the governor should be working to bring Texans together instead of grandstanding across the country and spewing toxic, ill-informed rhetoric. Another potential presidential candidate has officially given up his birth country's citizenship. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz made good on a promise from last summer. He is no longer a Canadian. A spokeswoman for the senator said he received official confirmation earlier this week. Even though Cruz was born in Canada, his mother is American, making him eligible to run for president. Cruz says he is pleased the process is finalized, adding it would make sense he should only be an American citizen. The state of Texas is now named in a class action lawsuit for accusations of not giving adequate instruction to Hispanic students learning English. The League of United Latin American Citizens, or LULAC, named Texas Education Commissioner Michael Williams as chief defendant. LULAC argues the Equal Educational Opportunities Act of 1974 is being violated. They argue English language programs across Texas don't measure up in many areas. Immigration policy will be a big debate as we head into November, especially after Republicans added new language to their platform that Democrats call anti-immigrant. Still ahead, we speak with the Texas Tribune's Alexa Ura about what this could mean for voters in Texas.